Helpful for life.
The first one we learned a couple of years ago is what we'll call the crispy smashed potato. Now, although this technique takes a little longer maybe than your average potato cooking, it leads to amazing results that have never failed to impress. Everyone we've made them for has raved about them. Check out the recipe from Fine Cooking to see specific instructions, but we're pretty much going to cover the whole thing here. So what you'll want for this dish is going to be what's called a baby potato. Now these potatoes are going to be about 2 inches or less in diameter. You may also see at the store some potatoes that are called petite potatoes. And although those potatoes are smaller than an average potato, they can be as big as like 4 inches in diameter, and diameter's all the way across, by the way. And 4 inches is a little big for this. Now, of course, this is cooking. You can experiment and try whatever you want and see what you'd like the best. But we found pretty good results with the smaller potatoes. Not only do they stay together better, but they're really good at getting crispy. So you've got your potatoes all washed. You're going to throw them in a large pot and fill it up with water until it just covers the potatoes. Put it on your stove over high heat, uncovered, and take a look at your watch because this whole process is going to take about 30 minutes. Now the process we're about to do is something called parboiling, and that's just a fancy way of saying that you're going to partially cook the food by boiling it. So as this pot is heating up, it's going to eventually boil, and once it reaches that boiling point, you're going to want to turn that heat down until it reduces it to a simmer. Now is where you want to keep an eye on the time, and once that total cook time from when you first turn on the heat comes to about 30 minutes, they should be about done. And you know that they're done when you can insert a fork into it pretty easily. Now, if you cook them a little too long, it's not the end of the world. They just may crumble and break apart a little more when you smash them. So now that you've parboiled the potatoes, you're going to want to drain them and then lay them out on some towels on the counter to dry out for like a minute or a couple of minutes. Then you'll move those potatoes onto a parchment-lined sheet pan. And you don't want any overlapping here, so if you have a lot of potatoes, you may need to use multiple pans. Remember, as you smash them, they're going to get a little wider, so be conservative. Once you have them on the parchment-lined pan, now comes the fun part, the smashing. Now, you can smash them one by one, or you can try smashing them all at the same time. If you're going to do it one by one, you could use anything, really. You could use a heavy cup, a bowl, a plate, anything with a flat surface kind of works. If you're going to use your hand though, which you can just hi-ya, use your hand, you may want to put a towel or something in between you and the potato so you don't burn your hand. Now, if you're like me and you're all about efficiency and you want to try and do a lot at once or maybe even the whole pan, try grabbing another sheet pan and just putting it on top and then pushing down on that. Regardless of how many you smash at once or how you do it, the key here is to get them pretty flat. I would say somewhere between 1/4 inch and 1/2 inch. You're not going for potato chip thin here, but you want them to be spread out so you can get nice and crispy. Then you're gonna drizzle those potatoes with a generous amount of olive oil, salt, and pepper. Then you're gonna flip and do the same thing to the other side. Do not skimp on the oil here. It may seem like a lot of oil to you, but it's what helps it get so delicious and so crispy. I never promised this was gonna be healthy potatoes. I just said they would be delicious potatoes. Throw the pan into the oven at 450 degrees Fahrenheit for about 20 minutes, or until you see some good signs of crispiness, but it's probably gonna be about 20 minutes. Then you're gonna flip them and throw it back in for another 15 or 20 minutes. Again, it's kind of up to you just how crispy you want it to be. For me, I like them nice and crispy, so I may even cook them longer than that. But after that final cooking step, they should be all ready to go in their amazing, crispy deliciousness. Now, if you have a convection oven, you may even get even better results if you use the convection oven setting. Just lower the heat to 400 degrees Fahrenheit, and that's it. That wraps up the first method, so enjoy those potatoes.